Hello and welcome on Watches TV, and over the years we've had the chance of filming quite a few gem set timepieces, but I have to admit that sometimes you wonder how these stones simply hold in place, and this is what we will partially uncover in the video of the day, since it's quite a secretive world. And to exemplify this, well, I guess we couldn't go much more extravagant and diverse by showcasing some of these techniques with some Jacob&Co timepieces, so be indeed ready for some gem set fireworks.
Most of the setting techniques are prong settings, for example, which one we use for our Billionaire watch. The channel setting, which are used on most of our Epic X chrono cases. We also have the pavé setting, which are used more with small brilliance on little components, such as the piano in the opera watch. And we finally have the most important and the most used invisible setting, which we use in the Chiron.
Okay, and before getting into more details regarding these techniques, what's the creative process behind such pieces, including some of the constraints that come along?
Everything starts at Jacob&Co with Jacob himself. I mean, Jacob has a wish, an idea, or we have a request from a customer, and then Jacob sits together with his technical team and his creative team.
Okay, let's focus on the most difficult and spectacular technique, the invisible gem setting.
Like its name, there is nothing holding the stones from outside. So visually, when you have a look at this setted watch, it's hard to understand how it can hold together. We groove the stones. So grooving means cutting a slightly opening under the table, which is invisible to the naked eye. Every stone will be clipped together on this bar, and nothing holds the stones from outside. So it's very challenging because nothing is unbreakable, and sometimes too much tension at the wrong place can break the stones. That's why it's so important to work closely with the technical office in the beginning, together with the cutters, and then together with the setters at the end. It's very challenging, but as long as the cut is well made and that the original plans were good thought, it should be fine.
So something I appreciate is that they are pretty transparent in terms of how the brand operates, meaning the suppliers they work with depending on the skills needed, which in turn means that we were able to film at some of these various places. And the one thing I witnessed that I would like to point out is that these artisans are really keen and inspired to work on such creative pieces precisely for the challenge they represent and the solutions to be found.
We can find a lot of gems in the nature, but not all of them are usable and can survive the cut and also the setting. So we usually choose the hardest. So we use a lot of white diamonds, and when we can find the goods, some yellow diamonds. And for color stones, we mainly work with sapphires. Why? Because sapphires are very hard, and they offer a lot of very nice colors, such as blues, pink, red, which are rubies, and also yellow sapphires. When we choose our stones, we will ask for the best qualities. When I talk about qualities, I say, for diamonds, we want the best colors, so as less color as possible, which is DEF, and internal clarity, as less inclusions as possible. First of all, you have to collect the stones, so it can be rough or pre-shaped baguettes, and you already make a first match of color at this time. But you have to know that every time you recut the stones, the color would change. It will never be the same. So with color stones, and mainly when we do a full blue sapphire or yellow sapphire watch, we'll have to recut at least 2 to 3 times the amount of the needed stones to make sure that every baguette matches. So it takes a lot of time. I mean, it takes over 6 months to produce a colored stone watch.
But something I would like to add regarding these suppliers is that gem setting and case or bracelet making are often made by the same company. As a gem setter, you know how you want your stones to be held in place. Therefore, it is more efficient for them to also work on these structural elements and machine the desired components to their exact requirement. And I can promise you that we are talking serious and intricate multi-axis machining and a lot of programming to achieve this.
This is a huge work of the technical office, because anyone who designs setted watches need to respect a minimum of the basic proportion of a baguette. Why? To make sure that once it's cut, diamonds or color stones, that some brilliance come back to the eye. And this was a big challenge for the Chiron, because it's following some curves and you know, it's in 3D. It's not a flat dial anymore. When you produce a Chiron in color stones, the color played together from one stone to the other. And yeah, this was a big challenge.
But the challenge, I mean, kind of never stopped because you keep pushing. So what do you think would be Jacob's biggest fantasy?
What I know is nothing is impossible to him. He's working side by side with his team every time he comes to see until work, and we push the limit. I don't know if he's gonna bring any crazy idea again, but I know he's not gonna stop.
Well, one crazy idea is this famous Jacob cut. Explain this to us.
This bowl was designed by Jacob himself, so it has 288 facets and is perfectly round. It's a huge work for our cutters in diamonds or color stones, because they have to take roughs 2, 3, sometimes 4 times the final size to make sure that it stays round and every facet is symmetrical. And we drill a hole, and it will be fixed on the direct axis of the movement, and everything is balanced. I mean, most of the times this Jacob cut is turning on itself, and I mean, brilliance is guaranteed. I think his own ideas or the customer's wishes is what makes our strength and makes that our work is so interesting, because it always changes. And well, I don't believe we're going to stop working with gems very soon, so I'm very happy.
So how are stones sourced?
First of all is availability. So we have to see what's available on the market. We talk with our partners, with the price, with the delivery dates, how long it's going to take, how much time do you need to collect the rough? Are we going to use rough? Are we going to use pre-shaped stones? So sometimes it can be ovals, baguettes, squares. It all depends on the sizes of the final cutted baguette. But this is something we talk first of all internally, and then we talk together with our partners.
What is the biggest size stone ever used, incorporated into a watch?
Jacob did a very spectacular Billionaire. I believe it was one of the first ones ever made. And every stone of the case weighed 3 carat each, which is huge.
The Billionaire is obviously a really impressive piece, and each link of the bracelet is probably worth more than all my watches combined. But listen to this. Jacob&Co is working on a full yellow diamond version, and to amass the number of stones needed to produce only one piece, well, naturally takes a bit of time.
With yellow diamonds, we've been looking for this Billionaire over 1.5 years, and we're still not done purchasing and collecting the stones, because we chose a very particular color of yellow diamonds, and we want to make sure that every single stone matches. So we're still missing 73 or 75. It's been 1.5 years, and let's hope it will be for this year, and we'll be able to present it to the public.
Well, I hope this was not too vivid for your eyes, but really quite impressive, and Viva, the power of macro shot to grasp the complexity behind such impressive timepieces. Thanks for watching, see you real soon, and a big Viva watchmaking your way. Bye.